Guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mark here with another exciting, delighting, and much interesting video here on the channel. So this is actually coming from the book launch of one of our favorite writer and I'll say author, and that is Chimamanda Adichie. Yes, Chimamanda Adichie. She actually wrote books. All of you know about her, and this one was the Abuja edition. She actually did the London edition. She has done the Lagos edition, and yes, this is going to be this is actually the Abuja edition. And His Excellency, our favorite Okute Ndigbo, was present to support her dearest daughter. For this book launch live in Abuja. This particular event will happen at Veritas University in the city of Abuja, and Peter Obi was there, though he wasn't captured at the front, but he was there, and you could see from the picture I just posted here. So enjoy the lectures from there. Don't forget to subscribe, drop a comment in the comment section.
But don't let that be the thing that holds you back. I want in 10, 20 years to see your name somewhere as the leading software engineers doing something. Serious. So let's break away from the sedate Catholic mode and be a bit Pentecostal. So manifest it. And the other question, sister's question, which amused me because it almost felt as though sister was warning me a little. I think sister was saying, really, sister's question is, but don't you think that you're encouraging other women to use rat poison? And why not something? And well, I think the first thing I would say is it was the character, not me. Let's remember that. But you know how I read that character, and I think that multiple readings are valid, but how I read that character is that her act was an act of resistance, but it wasn't really for her, it was for her children. That act was a violent act, it was an extreme act, but it was also an act of a woman who had been beaten down to the most abject submission, and who did not want her children to live in the shadow of what her life was. I don't think Beatrice is ever going to be a full human being, but she wanted differently for her children. And you know, when you ask, shouldn't I have thought about what other options did she have? I think it's easy when we talk about women who are in terribly abusive relationships, when we say, why don't they just leave? But the psychology of abuse is very different. It's very difficult for women who have been in relationships that are so unhealthy to just get up and leave. They don't even have, many of them don't even, they're not able to psychologically. So I think Beatrice is a character who would never have been able to get up and pack her things and tell her children we're leaving. Not in the shadow of a man just as impressive, you know, in many ways as Eugene. So I think that she did what she thought she could. I'm not encouraging rat poison, no. Unless the situation is very bad. Please, it's a joke. All of you young people, please do not put on social media. Chimamanda said we should kill your husbands with rat poison. It was a joke.
Thank you. Yes, the microphone is somewhere. If you have a microphone, just go ahead with your question. Okay. Go ahead with your question.
All right. My name is Dr. Tosin Olushola. I'm a staff of the Department of Economics. And then my question is, first of all, thank you very much for honoring this invitation. In my local dialect, they said an albino does not require introduction in the marketplace. The first time I heard Chimamanda was from my student, who is an economist, but a very great inspiration to her. But here comes my question. Now, how do you navigate these two perspectives? You shared a very eloquent and dynamic piece on the danger of a single story. Marrying that with your identity as a feminist, is it possible not to be misconstrued, bearing the fact that sometimes the idea of feminism in the context of Africa can be completely at variance with the idea of feminism as is perceived sometimes in the West. And I'm saying this because we did a research recently, we come up with a concept of Afrofeminism, just to look at feminism from the perspective of complementarianism rather than competition. Because sometimes when people hear feminism, they come from the perspective of, oh, these women, they just want to assert themselves, or they want to, prove that they are more dominant than the men. So, using that perspective around the danger of a single story, how do we marry this whole messaging around feminism without missing it or people perceiving it wrongly? Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
My name is Angel Akwandaye, and I'm a student of philosophy and a proud member of the debate club, and we are very happy to have you here. So I write poetry and I draw a lot of inspiration from your work. And sometimes, most times even, I hit a wall where nothing seems to be flowing, like I'm hitting like a creative wall. And I think there's a term to it where what they call creative block or writer's block. So my question is, has that ever happened to you? And when that happened, what did you do to overcome it, and how has that helped you? What has helped you overcome it, rather?
Thank you. I think I'd like to take a question from here.
Good afternoon.
I think I would like a question from this wing.
Let her just finish.
My name is Manuela Ayubaret, a 500 level law student. First of all, I want to thank you for gracing our university with your presence today. I also want to take this opportunity to tell you how deeply I admire you and your work. I grew up reading mostly American novels.
Such an amazing lecture out there. Chimamanda new book. Chimamanda is always giving sellouts on all her books. The first launch in London was, according to Peter Obi, he said there were over 3,000 people. He launched it at a hall of over 3,000 people, and there was no space to accommodate the guests, people who came for the launch. That the whole place was filled up. Not even one single person could actually gain entrance. That's how popular this lady is. She's not just a writer, she is a noble woman, someone a lot of young teenage girls in Nigeria, Africa at large, and so I would just say the black community globally are always looking up to for her very, very marvelous works in terms of writing. In fact, I even know friends who actually don't joke with Chimamanda. They can actually go extra mile for her, and seeing Peter Obi there was a great one. Thank you for watching. See you guys on the next video.